What if the most controversial documentary in hip-hop wasn't created because of revenge, jealousy, or a decades-long rivalry, but because 50 Cent believes someone had to finally say something? That's the question now dominating conversations after Curtis, 50 Cent, Jackson opened up about the real reason behind his explosive documentary on Sean, Diddy, Combs. For years, everyone has known that 50 Cent and Diddy have had one of the most talked about rivalries in the music industry. Their relationship has been filled with public criticism, online trolling, and years of tension that seem to never completely disappear. So when 50 Cent stepped behind a major documentary project focusing on Diddy's controversies, many people immediately assumed they knew the motivation. To some, it looked like the ultimate revenge move. A longtime rival using a massive platform to strike when Diddy was already facing serious legal battles and public criticism. But according to 50 Cent himself, that interpretation completely misses the point. The documentary, Sean Combs, The Reckoning, became one of the most debated entertainment projects when it premiered. It featured interviews, discussions, and perspectives from people connected to Diddy's career and the allegations surrounding him. By the time viewers reached the end, many felt they had watched a disturbing look into the world of fame, power, influence, and the accusations surrounding one of music's most powerful figures. Some viewers described it as an important piece of journalism that forced people to confront uncomfortable questions. Others believed it was simply another chapter in the long-running battle between two hip-hop giants. And that debate only grew louder because of one simple question. Why did 50 Cent make it? Was it personal? Was it business? Or was there something else happening behind the scenes? For years, 50 Cent has been known for his willingness to say what others won't. He built a reputation as someone who challenges people publicly, whether through interviews, social media posts, or music. His rivalry with Diddy became almost a part of hip-hop culture itself. Fans watched every comment, every joke, and every online exchange between the two. So when the documentary arrived, many people immediately connected it to that history. They thought, "Of course 50 made this. He has always had issues with Diddy." But 50 Cent says that's not the story. In a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter, the rapper and businessman explained that he expected people to criticize the documentary before they even watched it. He understood why some people would assume it was just an attack. But he argued that the project was not about humiliating someone during a difficult moment. According to him, it was about bringing attention to conversations that many people had avoided for years. He explained that because so many people in the industry had personal connections with Diddy, speaking openly about controversial topics was always going to create backlash. People would question motives. People would question timing. People would question intentions. But his argument was simple. If nobody speaks, nothing changes. That idea became one of the biggest themes surrounding the documentary. The project wasn't just focused on one individual. It raised larger questions about the entertainment industry itself. What happens when someone becomes so powerful that people are afraid to challenge them? What happens when success, money, and influence create an environment where people stay silent? And what responsibility does the industry have when serious allegations become public? Those questions are much bigger than any personal rivalry. 50 Cent has previously shared similar thoughts, including in interviews around the documentary's release. He suggested that hip-hop culture had a responsibility to address difficult issues rather than pretend they didn't exist. In his view, silence from an entire community can sometimes send a message, not necessarily a message of agreement, but a message that powerful people can avoid consequences. And that's why he believed the documentary needed to exist. However, the most surprising part of his comments came when he talked about what happens next. Because 50 Cent wasn't only focused on the past. He was also looking toward the future. He suggested that Diddy could potentially return to public life sooner than many expect and questioned whether enough time had passed for real change to happen. His comments sparked another wave of debate. Some people agreed, saying that consequences alone don't automatically transform someone's behavior. Others argued that everyone deserves the opportunity to change, and that predicting someone's future actions is unfair. But regardless of opinion, the statement highlighted a bigger conversation about accountability. Does punishment create change? Or does real change require something deeper? That question has followed many high-profile celebrity cases. Because when someone famous faces a major downfall, the public often wonders what happens after the headlines disappear. Can someone rebuild their reputation? Can audiences separate art from controversy? Can an industry move forward while still acknowledging the past? These are questions that don't have easy answers. And that's part of why the documentary became such a major talking point. It wasn't just another celebrity story. It became a discussion about culture, power, and responsibility. Of course, not everyone accepted 50 Cent's explanation. Some critics still believe the documentary was influenced by his personal history with Diddy. They argue that when someone has spent years publicly criticizing another person, it becomes difficult to separate personal feelings from professional decisions. Others believe both things can exist at the same time. Maybe there was a history between them. Maybe there was rivalry. But that doesn't automatically mean the issues explored in the documentary are unimportant. The debate itself shows how complicated public figures can be. People rarely see the full picture. They see headlines. They see interviews. They see social media posts. But behind every major entertainment controversy are years of relationships, business decisions, and personal conflicts that the public never fully understands. And that uncertainty is exactly what keeps stories like this alive. Every new comment creates another conversation. Every interview creates another headline. Every reaction creates another debate. The documentary may have started as a film project, but it quickly became something much larger. It became a cultural moment. A moment where fans, critics, artists, and industry insiders were forced to talk about topics that had often remained behind closed doors. And perhaps the biggest impact of the documentary is that it changed the conversation. Whether someone views 50 Cent's involvement as brave, strategic, personal, or controversial, there is no denying that he succeeded in creating a discussion that spread far beyond entertainment circles. The story became about more than two rappers. It became about how powerful people are viewed when their public image begins to collapse. It became about whether the industry protects its biggest stars or holds them accountable. And it became about whether speaking out matters, even when people question the person doing the speaking. At the end of the day, 50 Cent says the documentary wasn't about revenge. He says it was about refusing to stay silent. Whether everyone believes that explanation or not, one thing is certain. The conversation he started is not ending anytime soon. Because in the world of hip-hop, fame, controversy, and power, some stories don't disappear. They become bigger. And this one is still unfolding.